Hey guys, sorry if I slow down a little bit. My lungs are doing something weird. Something is going on with them. So, I wanted to warn you all this contains SA, it contains Munchausen's by proxy, basic child abuse. So, if it's not for you, I completely understand. Just keep scrolling. So, again, from the time I'm 11 to 13, I'm body modifying, I'm doing all those wonderful things that you shouldn't do. I'm also getting hyper obsessed with banished characters. So my love for Scar, my love for Phantom of the Opera. If you haven't read the book, read the book. The book, absolutely still my favorite book to this day. And I become obsessed with I must be marked. Like right now, I'm still trying to find a scarologist who will give me my scar cut. Because as a kid, I would constantly cut and things like that because I felt marked. How do you explain to a child that your God is loving and caring? I realized all of a sudden that this God who loved us and was supposed to be there for us had a mood switch with my grandmother. He went from a loving God who just wanted you to be happy, be good to your kids, lead a good life, became absolutely insane. So I learned that I wasn't, going to even be able to have a family because any children I had would... Sorry, I hate my neighbor. He comes through at like 3 a.m. and all of the windows shake. The window shakes. Sorry, I'm getting nervous. So everything I touched would be destroyed. So I became obsessed with getting cured of this gay thing, which again, I didn't have much contact with anyone on the outside. Like my grandmother was poisoning every well I went to, telling people, oh no, she's dangerous, we just take care of her, like she's not our kid. So yeah, apparently I was running off beating animals, I was violent, apparently I beat my grandmother, I was running off and having wild sex with people, but they couldn't account for me being in the house all the time. So it became, oh well, it's in your mind, you're thinking about this, so automatically you're evil, because what evil starts in the mind. You can go out and kill 10 people and that's a murder charge, but if you think that I don't like this person in my head, I might as well have killed them because I've committed murder in my heart. There was no way for me to win. So again, I'm getting Xena 3 or 4 times a year, and I'm just holding on to this idea that instead of being this damned evil thing, one day I'll become this Lucy Lawless-like heroine of my own story. I'll rescue my brothers from hell, I'll save the family, I'll financially recoup all the losses my grandparents had raising me. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear it, but we're right near the Fort Smith Air Force training base, and once it starts, it doesn't stop all day, and it makes me so nervous. So I become this figure where I have to fix everything. And my grandmother is also telling me I'm going to fix everything. She's like, oh yeah, you're going to get custody of your baby brother because your mom isn't all there. One day he'll live with you. No one will take care of me. No one will take care of me. And I don't want to be a burden on my children. So you're going to take care of me when I get older, right? You're not going to leave Nan out in the cold. You're going to take care of me, right? Because I gave everything for you. So all of a sudden, it became very hard for me to deal with day to day because people go, well, are you going to go out? Are you going to go see this movie? Or are you going to go do this? And it was, no, I'm not going to go see a freaking movie. What is a movie going to do for me? I have to be able to take care of Austin, my younger brother. I have to be able to take care of my grandmother. And I have to be able to repay this massive debt that now I owe just because I was born. And for someone who already has a lot of depression and anxiety. It doesn't stop. So people say all of a sudden, you became really mean, you became unpleasant. Yeah, because your souls were my fucking job. Repaying hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical care was my problem now. I had to have a house to take care of my grandmother. I had to have a house to take care of my little brother. And all of this while I had to fix me being gay, which I could not do. I couldn't repent for it. You can repent, but you're still evil in your heart. So it doesn't matter if you repent. You're still screwed. And you might get into heaven. But everyone's going to know how evil you are. So people immediately go, you were so mean. You were so angry all the time. Yeah, you didn't see it. You didn't hear the lectures. You didn't know. And I think it made things so much harder for me in every way. Because again, checking into behavioral health units was the only time I could eat without being told what a pig I was, how filthy I was, how fat I was, and how much I cost. And it was always, why are you going into behavioral health? You know, we know you have problems, but in there you're fine. And it's like, yes, I have medicine, for one, that isn't monitored by a crazy woman who just goes, here, take another Seroquel, take another lithium, take another Thorazine, take another, this or that. I had food. To this day, the lycanthropy is very strong in me. So having food, it's one of those things where I think about all the time. I think about it all the time. And I think about, how am I going to burn off these calories? How do I do this? How many crunches? How many sit-ups? How many times do I have to ride my bike around the block? And in the hospital, I didn't have that. So it became so much, so fast. And then we had Y2K hit and everything else. And my mother gets pregnant. And all of a sudden it's, oh, I hope it's a little girl. I've never had a little girl. I never realized where my mother got her sense of language and humor, but it came from two things. One of which being the show Absolutely Fabulous. My mother was a combination of Adina Monsoon and Patty Stone, and my mother had this very unique way of abusing you that was funny, and it took me years to realize, oh my God, I realized, like, when she found out she was pregnant, she said, get me a knitting needle. And I went, oh my God, I heard that so many times, but as a joke. So much of the abuse was masked in this joke, but it was, she's having a baby. She's starting a real family. She's going to have a real little girl. And it broke me because I hated the person she was with. Again, fat, stupid, really, really low paying job. He's still to this day very childish, not childlike, childish. And I didn't feel like it was a really good match. I really did not feel like it was a good match. So my biological mother had a lot of trouble with pregnancy. She's had over 8 miscarriages. It was a very long process. So in that process, all of a sudden, my grandparents are, oh my God, our baby's getting married. Our baby's getting married. Because again, she was the last to leave the nest out of the original children. And it was, oh my God, we're going to be grandparents. We're actually going to be grandparents again. And it was like, so you're throwing me and my brother under the bus just because there was a wedding. And it became very painfully obvious how this pregnancy was affecting my mother. She had over 9 epidurals leading up to this pregnancy because she couldn't walk. So all of a sudden she needed me for housework, nothing else.